everyone, this is Sid here and welcome back to another video. Basically, today I'm going to be drawing all of my forgotten OCs. So if that sounds fun and interesting to you, then please make sure to stay tuned and stick around. And without further ado, let's get started, shall we? So basically, you might be sitting there thinking to yourself, Sid, what the heck is a forgotten OC? And if you were wondering that exact thing, well, that is basically an OC of mine that I have completely forgotten to include in the previous video. So, if you've been on my channel for any length of time now, or have seen any of my previous other videos about my OCs, you would know that I have quite a few. I have 3 videos for Arc 1, each of which has 4 characters, and I have 1 video for Arc 2, which also has 4 characters. So I've shared a total of 16 characters so far on the channel, but there are 4 characters that are also in Arc 1 and Arc 2 that I completely forgot to include. So these characters, I know, they're sort of background characters, side characters, you know, so they're not really as important as the other characters are. So that might be why I forgot about them, but I do still think that they're deserving of attention and should get their own little chance to shine in the spotlight. So I want to share all these characters here on my YouTube channel so that y'all guys can meet them and see what they're like, you know? So yeah, I'm going to be sharing Astreya, Bermuda, Brutus, and Taurina today. And without further ado, let's start off with Astreya. So basically, here's Astreya. Before we dive into it, I would like to mention very briefly that some of these drawings, like the drawings of Astreya and Bermuda, I drew at the beginning of March of 2025. And then my latest drawing, which is my drawing of Taurina, I literally finished drawing less than an hour ago. I finished drawing that picture and I was like, now that I'm done, let's go film the video. So literally, some of the drawings may be good, some of the drawings may be bad. Please don't bully me. For heaven's sake, the quality may vary, but here they all are, after all this time being revealed to the public. The first girly we have right here is Astreya, and Astreya is an astronomer slash astrologist, basically if you don't know the difference. An astronomer is more of a sciencey person who studies the science of the stars, and an astrologist is more of a mythological person who studies the mythology and the story behind the stars. So I personally, with all my zodiacs and horoscopes and all that great stuff that I am absolutely obsessed with, am more of an astrology girl, but if you're into astronomy, that's also very cool. Astreya right here is into both, but why is this important in a fantasy medieval setting, you might be wondering, like the setting of my fantasy medieval story. Basically, if you know anything about Arc 2 of my story, which Astreya is present in Arc 1 and she is a character in Arc 1, but she becomes a lot more important in Arc 2 because that's really when her role kicks into place. Basically, in Arc 2 of my story, the main thing that they're doing is the world has become inhospitable, so there's all of this cold, freezing weather heading towards them, unstoppable, you know, and if the winter does come to their land, they will literally die. All the crops will die and everything will freeze over and it'll just become a complete winter wonderland, but without all the wonder, you know? Sort of like Narnia in the Chronicles of Narnia, or how Elsa makes Arendelle become completely frozen. And along with this, there's also an incredible pestilence and disease that's killing tons of people. So they know that they have to escape this terrible tragedy before it becomes inescapable. So what they plan to do is get some ships and move over across the sea to a new land, a new home to call their own. But basically, if you know anything about how sailing worked back in the day, they couldn't just take out their phone and call Alexa and Google Maps to say, hey, how do we get from point A to point B? No, you had to look up at the stars to guide you.
So I look up at the stars to guide me and throw caution to every warning sign.
from Disney's Wish, you know? That movie was absolutely terrible, but I literally just thought of it and I couldn't resist. But anyways, yeah, they had to have like all of these charts and like maps, and they had to use like compasses and stuff to tell what direction they were going in, and they had to really pay close attention to the night sky to make sure that they were going in the right direction. So Astreya right here, as our astronomer and astrologist, would be very, very helpful in sort of like taking the boat and making sure that it was going in the right direction, making sure that the ship was sailing towards their destination. And yeah, so although Astreya isn't like the captain of the voyage by any means, she is a very, very important player, and she has a key part and crucial role in making sure that everyone reaches their destination safely and soundly, you know? So yeah, she's very, very important there. As for Astreya's like actual personality, she's very, very excitable and energetic. As you can see, she has like such amazing enthusiasm and passion for her area of study. Basically just everything to do with the stars and space and all of that great stuff. And she is like the most bubbly bean in the world. She has so much knowledge. She is an absolute nerd, and she has such a big brain, but she will not hesitate to pull out a fun fact from nowhere and make sure that you're paying attention. She can be a bit scatterbrained sometimes and a bit of a chatterbox as well, and sort of aloof to like everyone else's emotions and opinions and feelings, but she is just very, very cute and charming, and I honestly find her kind of endearing. Fun fact, but Astreya is actually bisexual. She is lesbian leaning, and she does have a girlfriend named Alyssa, and we actually know Alyssa. She's the girl that has purple hair. She's like the healer and like the doctor for the Fantasy Medieval Society, like the little nurse, so she always provides everyone with their medicine when they need it and all of that great stuff. All the healing herbs. They look really, really cute together in my opinion. They are such an adorable couple. But yeah, that is Astreya. As for Astreya's like actual physical appearance and all that great stuff, she has sort of like that Mediterranean suntan skin tone, like an olive type skin, and she has bright green eyes. I don't know why I used to hate the color green, but I actually feel like I have developed a lot more of a fondness towards it, you know. A lot of my character designs in the modern day have green incorporated in them in some sort of way. She has nice silver hair, not silver because of her age, because she is pretty young, not like a teenager, but maybe in like her early or mid-20s, you know. So she is on like the younger side and all of that great stuff. But she has her hair pulled back in the bun, you know, to sort of be out of her way. As a scientist, you know, she has to have her hair pulled back, and she has her glasses on as well to help her see better and to protect her eyes. The main star of the show for me personally, though, is her main outfit, and I really, really like it because I gave her sort of like a lab coat, but sort of like a fantasy medieval lab coat, you know, so looks more like a wizard or sorcerer's type coat, you know. And she has this amazing dress that's sort of like a galaxy dress, you know. It has these like golden strips at the bottom and all of these star patterns and little moons and stuff. It has all this lacing down the bottom, has like these tall socks and big boots, and she has like all these belts and satchels and pouches and bags and all of that. But I think she just looks really, really cute. She has this book she's holding up, La Ciencia del Cosmos, which means the science of the stars in Spanish. I don't know why I put Spanish instead of Latin, because most of the time I use Latin as like my little foreign language substitute, but I think their culture is sort of like a mixture of Spanish and Latin culture. And yeah, you can see it is pretty cringe art because her hand is literally flipped upside down holding the book, but just ignore it, guys. It's perfectly fine. But anyways, that's pretty much all I have to say about Astreya. She is such a cutie. And yeah, but we're gonna be moving on to the next character now, and the next character is actually Bermuda. And Bermuda is our little pirate captain. She is named after the Bermuda Triangle, which I thought was really, really interesting when I was a kid. It's basically this area in like, I think it's like in between Bermuda, which is a English colony, or like used to be an English colony, hell no, Puerto Rico and Miami in Florida. So it's like that general area, and basically the lore behind the Bermuda Triangle is that lots of ships and airplanes used to go missing there, and no one really knows why. but it's a very interesting little mystery. But I thought that would be a cute name for our little pirate captain because she is like deadly and dangerous, and I think that's a great name for her. And yeah, but basically Bermuda's role in the story, as they're all going on their voyage across the sea, they do encounter a storm, and it is pretty bad and does get them all separated. Basically, there are 8 ships going on the journey, and 7 of them managed to stay together, which is like really impressive, to be honest. If there was a huge storm, I highly doubt that in real life they would all stay together like that, but since it is fiction, since it is fantasy, I can write it however I want. So 7 out of 8 of the boats stick together and are all safe and all that great stuff. But one of the boats, which just so happens to be the boat that Bermuda is traveling on, does get separated from the others and sort of like stranded and like lost at sea, you know? So there, her story sort of takes a divergence from the main plot line and sort of gives out to its own little subplot. But Bermuda is basically, she's not like the second in command, but she's like a higher up on their pirate ship. But the captain is named Captain CMS, and Captain CMS is like a very nice and just moral person, so he wants to try to find the others as fast as possible. So he wants to reunite their ship, which had gotten stranded, with the other 7 ships. But Bermuda has her own plan. She wants to go find their own little territory, you know, because if they all go find their own kingdom together, then they'll all have to like share the land, share the resources, and all of that great stuff. But Bermuda's mentality is like, if they find their own kingdom, they can have it all to themselves. So she is a little bit of a little greedy pirate there, but I do like her thinking. So Bermuda actually leads a mutiny and like a rebellion against Captain CMS, and Bermuda becomes the new captain, but not before she meets her tragic fate in the end, because she is killed by some of her other members when they realize the dark truth about what really happened that fateful night. So, very interesting story we got right there. Bermuda, our queen, you know, she is like very cool, very sassy and bossy, has a strong sense of like order and duty and discipline and consequences, you know. If she thinks you did something wrong, she will not hesitate to make you pay the price. She's got this really cool appearance. She has sort of darker skin, and once again, just like our other girl Astreya, she has green eyes. You can see I love my green eyes. But she has this nice sort of just stereotypical pirate's outfit, you know. So she has like a dark cloak. She has sort of like a little gray skirt and some black pants and big pirate boots, you know. She also has sort of like a flaring red cape out the back, and then sort of like a pirate collar and whatever those little fluffy things that they always put on their shoulders are. She also has these nice emerald earrings which tie very nicely with her eyes, and also some pearl earrings as well. She also has her pirate hat with the skull and crossbones and nice red feather, and she has a nice little sword. I forgot what this style of sword is called. It has a specific name. Let me see if I can find it. What is the name of a pirate sword? Oh yes, I think it's called the cutlass. So yeah, this type of sword that she has is like a cutlass right there. But it's a very cool type of sword, you know. She just looks so slay and epic, and yeah, she has really nice long curly hair. I think it's sort of similar in the style of Leona's hair, but just a little bit different. And the nice blue color, you know. What I love about fantasy is that you can really make the designs however you want to, and no one can judge you for it. So if you want to have like silver hair, pink hair, blue hair, like it's all up for grabs, you know. So Bermuda, just like Nautica and Novice, has some blue hair. And yeah, Bermuda was one of Nautica's close friends before they got separated, and yeah. It's very interesting because where Novice and Nautica can both turn into sirens, basically like half shark, half human hybrid, Bermuda can turn into a similar creature, but she is actually an octopus. Sort of like Ursula or Uma from Descendants, but she's like half human, half octopus in her like transformed state, you know? Her thing though is that she can only transform when she becomes really angry. So yeah, because she's like a special type of creature, you know? But anyways, I think that's all I have to say for Bermuda, at least for now. If you've heard me talk on my channel about the story PMB, which I have mentioned in other videos, like I know in my video about my New Year's goals, it said one of my writing goals was to write PMB, because that is something I want to do. But PMB basically stands for Pirate Macbeth, which is what I'm calling her story temporarily, you know, because her story does sort of follow that same sort of path. It's like Macbeth, but with pirates, you know? So yeah, but anyways, let's move on to the next character. The next forgotten OC that I have right here is Brutus Brooksley. And Brutus is actually the sibling of another character that we know all too well. I'll give you guys a few seconds to guess. If you guessed that he was the brother of Brianna, you would be correct, because Brianna and Brutus are actually siblings. Very, very cute. Brutus is not actually a part of my story currently. I'm gonna have to add him in like post edits, because I just sort of thought of him a few weeks ago and decided, hey, it'd be pretty cool if Brianna had a brother. And yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna just have to add him in later on, but as of right now, he isn't really that important of a character. He's just sort of like a background character, you know, a side character, just to sort of fill in and make the world seem more realistic and more like a real life place and all of that great stuff. But Brutus right here, he's basically a butcher, because I thought to myself, it'd be really, really cool if I had a butcher named Brutus, because I love alliteration. I don't know why. It's like when you have multiple things that all have the same letter, so like Brutus the butcher or Brianna the baker or other things like that. I love the letter B, bro. B is just such a cool letter. Like, I love B, which is why I have all these characters with B names like Brianna and Brutus and all of them. If you have a B name, comment down below and let me know what it is, and shout out, because B is just so cool, and everyone who has a B name is also really cool. So yeah, but Brutus right here, I haven't really thought too much about him personally. Like, I just sort of have an idea of like who he is. I don't really have an idea of like what he's like as a person per se, but I think he would just be sort of like stern, serious, you know. He really gives me vibes of like the dad from Luca. If you've seen the Pixar movie Luca, it's a really, really cute movie. It takes place on like the Italian Riviera and has these cute little kids who are trying out for like the triathlon, and their dream in life is to get a Vespa. It's like the most adorable movie. I love it so, so much. But yeah, he sort of reminds me of the dad from that movie. But basically, when making his character design, I basically just gave him this nice long apron, you know, to make sure that he wouldn't get messy, because obviously when dealing with like meats and animals and stuff, that can get pretty messy. As you can see, he has some splotches of red on his shirt, and I don't entirely think that's ketchup, guys. It might be something else, but I don't know. Who am I to say? He has all these other blues though. He has like this nice blue scarf and a blue tie around his waist, and he also has a nice blue little hat. And obviously, to keep his hands nice and clean, he's wearing these black gloves and has some nice black boots. I imagine he'd be working with like lots of heavy stuff and like knives. He wouldn't want to drop any of that on his feet now, would he? So he has those nice boots to protect his feet. Additionally, he has one gold earring in one of his ears, and he has a slash through one of his eyebrows. Probably just a scar he got from dealing with the knives. One thing I tried to do pretty well with Brutus was go outside of my comfort zone a little bit. So if you care to notice, Brutus is, first of all, a guy, and I don't draw guys as often as I draw girls, but I try to draw them every now and then, you know? And yeah, but he is actually the only guy in this video. The other character is a girl as well. But most of the time when I draw guys, I do not draw them with facial hair. And like, out of all of the 16 characters that I've introduced so far, a lot of them being boys, like I have some male characters, Crow, Ash, Jasper, Cornelian, Emery, Novice, all of those boy characters, but none of them have facial hair. But as we can see right here, Brutus has a nice big bushy beard. Again, with all the B alliteration, I love B alliteration so, so much. I don't know why, it just sounds so sweet and like harmonic. And yeah, but he has that nice big bushy beard, and he also has a mustache underneath his nose right there. Mustaches come in many different shapes and sizes, but his mustache is sort of like a Lorax mustache, and I think it looks really, really cute. I also almost never add like body hair onto my characters, but I tried to make him look a little bit more hairy, which is so cringe saying out loud, but it's true. So I gave him some hair on his arms, sort of close to where his gloves are, And then I also gave him some hair on his chest, you can see right in between his collar, underneath his scarf. And yeah, the whole entire like purpose of this was to make him look sort of older. Brianna is like in her teenage years, you know, she's sort of like 17 or 18 years old, but I imagine that Brutus would be like a good deal older, maybe in like his late 20s or like early 30s, you know, because I imagine that Brutus would have been like 10 or 11 years old when Brianna was born, you know, because there can be a really different dynamic between different siblings, you know, like my mom, she has 2 siblings, and she's older than both of them, but one of them is only 1 year younger than her, and one of them is 10 years younger than her, so she has a very, very different dynamic towards both of them, you know? I imagine Brutus would be like a really, really good older brother, very, very caring and supportive towards Brianna. I imagine it would be really, really sweet and sentimental as well, because, you know, when you see a guy like this, like Brutus, who's all like big and burly and buff, once again, I thought might be alliteration, and he's like very tough looking on the exterior, you think, oh wow, this guy must not have any feelings or anything, he must be like a rock hard, solid as a stone, but deep down on the inside, he does have his little like emotional core, and I really do think that his relationship with Brianna would be where that shines, you know, because I feel like Brianna would probably be able to pull out like a soft spot within him and get him to show some of his like true colors and inner feelings and all that great stuff. And yeah, but this is Brutus, my little king. Not too much going for his story right now, but we'll see further development in the future, hopefully. And yeah, but now we're going to be moving on to the last forgotten OC, who is the last character of this video, who I actually finished just earlier today, a few hours ago, and she actually took me 8.5 hours to make, which is like absolutely crazy, because like looking at her, she's nothing too spectacular, you know, like she's just an ordinary OC, so like why would this drawing have taken me over 8 hours? I have absolutely no idea. But I feel like I am just a really slow artist, but I feel like it's fine because I do really try to take my time to like enjoy the creative process, and I feel like that is really what art is all about. So I feel like as long as you do enjoy the creative process, like it's perfectly fine, it's okay. It doesn't matter how long it takes you to make the picture. But yeah, anyways, this is our last character, and this is Taurina! And Taurina is really, really cool. If any of y'all have read the Odyssey, which is what Arc 2 of my story is based on, there is this whole entire scene in the Odyssey where Odysseus and his men all go to the island of the sun, which is owned by Helios, the sun god, and on this island there are a whole bunch of cows, and they can literally do anything they want on this island. They can like roam free and have parties and like drink beer and all this great stuff, but the one thing that they cannot do is touch these cows, because if so, Helios will just get like so freaking upset, you know, and things will not be good. But these men, you know, like they've been off at sea for like such a long amount of time, and they get to this land and they see these cows, and like all they can think about is food, you know, like their stomachs are grumbling, they don't hear anything else. So before Odysseus can even tell them like, hey, wait, stop, they go and kill these cows and make them into like steak or burgers or whatever you make cows into, and they eat the cows. And it was a very, very bad decision, because instead of Helios doing anything, which like why wouldn't Helios do something if they're his cows, Zeus sends down a lightning bolt and destroys their ship and kills literally everyone except for Odysseus, which is like absolutely crazy. And it's so sad because they were so close to home, Ithaca, their island, and Odysseus was like the only one to return alive. But why am I talking about all this? Well, it's basically because there's a very similar thing that happens in my book. Basically, Taurina and her family live on this island, and they're the only ones there. It's just sort of like their own little peaceful abode. Very, very calm, quiet place, and very, very sweet and sentimental and all that great stuff. But one cold, rainy day when Taurina is still very, very little, probably only about 6 or 7 years old, Taurina is playing outside with her family when all of a sudden a storm comes, and all the thunder and lightning cracks and kabooms, and Taurina is sent to go inside into the farmhouse where everything is safe, but all of her other family members work desperately to try to get all the cows safe inside the barn so that they won't get like electrocuted, you know, by the the lightning, but being outside, all of her family members die in the storm, you know? They're able to save the cows, but they aren't able to save themselves. So Taurina, who's still very, very young at this point in time, loses all of her family members to this storm. So Taurina develops a very, very bad sense of trauma. Like, she gets so anxious and jittery at every single sign of storms, because the rain, you know, the storms, the flashes of lightning, all of that great stuff, it all scares her to death because of what happened to her family. But Taurina does want to honor her family, so she does try to keep all their cows safe, you know, and like provide good care for them. Taurina always makes sure to wake up really, really early every single day on a very specific schedule to go outside and let all the cows into the pasture and give all the cows their food and stuff and milk all the cows and make sure that everything that they need is being done and that all of their cares are taken care of and all of that. And these cows just mean so much to her because they were so important to her family, and her family is no longer there. So as a way of honoring her family, she seeks to protect these cows and give them the best life that she possibly can. But one day, Crow and all of his crew arrive on this island, on Taurina's island, and they want a place to stay for the night because they've been sailing so hard and all of that great stuff. And Taurina is a very nice and gentle person. She has a good sense of like tolerance and patience, and she does invite them all into her home, which is very sweet of her. And she does give them like a place to stay for the night and all that great stuff. But eventually, as did happen with Helios's cattle in the Odyssey, all of Crow's men become really hungry, and they can't think of anything else to eat on this island except for these freaking cows. So they do decide to end up murdering a few of the cows and making some burgers out of them, and in turn, Taurina absolutely snaps, goes full psychopath mode. And similarly to how I said that Bermuda's Kraken magic only unlocked when she sort of harnessed the ability, Taurina's bull magic only harnesses when you know the ability as well. So yeah, Taurina turns herself into a bull and literally tries to murder them all for attempting to kill her precious cows, but Crow jumps in just the nick of time and stops them in the middle of the action. But as for Taurina's actual character design, because I do think it looks really cute, and I am honestly incredibly satisfied with how it turned out. I have this girl right here. She has more like darker tanned Mediterranean skin, sort of similar to Astreya. For once, she actually does not have green eyes. She has brown eyes, but they're very pretty brown, sort of like a chocolatey brown. And yeah, I imagine her dress would be sort of like a denim material, sort of like blue jeans, you know, but like as a big long skirt. And she has a nice yellow blouse on over top with some like red stripes, sort of like a red plaid pattern, but it does have like all the buttons going down and like the nice white collar. And she does have like this little cream colored vest with like some really cute flowers and stuff, red flowers and sort of like green cactusy petals and all of that. And she does have some other cool features. Like, she has a nice piece of fabric going over her skirt and a nice beautiful headscarf with lots of paisley designs on them. These paisleys took me forever to make, which is probably why this picture turned out to be like 8 hours long, but I think that they do look really cool. She has a nice long braid in her hair, and she has some flowers in her hair as well, so I feel like she honestly looks kind of like a hippie, but I was trying to make her look sort of like a fantasy medieval farm girl, and I think she looks really cute. Originally, I was gonna have her design more like a female version of Woody from Toy Story, because I had drawn Toy Story characters recently, and I really do like Woody's design, and I just think it looks really cool. I love the cow vest. It's like one of my favorite things, but as soon as I thought about it, the more that I realized, well, would Taurina really have like a cow print on her at all if she's like so close to the cows emotionally, you know? It might make her think like cringe thoughts if she knows that like cows are being hurt and like slaughtered to make rugs and stuff. I would definitely pass out on that if it were my choice. But I imagine Taurina would be the type to like go sing and dance out in the fields, you know, like bring a basket and pick lots of flowers, or have an accordion and just sort of play a song, sing out to the cows, have all of them listen and all that great stuff. Maybe she'd braid the mane of the cows, put flowers in it, or braid and flower their tails. I'm betting she had a name for each of her cows as well. I think it'd be a really cute way to sort of like gain a whole full understanding of like farm animals and how they work, but I think it's just really, really cute and sweet. But anyways, those were all of the forgotten OCs from Arc 1 and Arc 2. Which of these characters was your favorite and why? Please let me know in the comments down below. I think my favorite character out of all of these characters is Astreya, probably because I know her the best out of all these characters. I love Taurina too, but I literally just made her like earlier today. I haven't gotten a whole lot of her like personality and like who she is as a character figured out yet, other than just like her story and all of that, her lore as we like to call it here on the channel. And yeah, I also just love Bermuda. I love all of them really, but I think my favorite in terms of like just general character is Astreya, and then my favorite in terms of like actual outfit is probably Taurina, because I just love Taurina's outfit. I think it looks really, really good. Not to be too arrogant or haughty or like bragging, but I think it's a really, really good picture of Taurina. And yeah, but anyways, let me know what y'all guys think in the comments down below, and if you enjoyed watching this video, then please make sure to like and subscribe. It always helps me out so much when y'all do, and I really, really appreciate it. Honestly, this is the part of the video where I would say that I post multiple times every single week, but honestly, I haven't really been on top of my game yet, so for now I'm just gonna say I post a video at least once per week. So that'll probably be a good honest statement, you know. So yeah, I post at least one video per week, and I post short form videos almost every single day. So no matter what, I can almost guarantee you that you will always have something fun and interesting to watch, and you'll never be bored. But yeah, if you want to take your support and encouragement from me as an artist a step further, then please go click the links in the description box down below. Those will take you to some of my other social media accounts like my Instagram account, Pinterest account, Unveil account, and Arfit account, and all of that great stuff. I would love to have you there in my community. There's also my Instagram Grubs account where I post new food pics every few weeks or so. And yeah, but anyways, I hope that y'all guys all have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next video. Always remember that I love you, and goodbye, eat more waffles, and peace out, Girl Scouts!